I recently got off of NCL Escape, a 10-year-old ship in the fleet, and today we're going to take a look at a sneak peek of what Norwegian's going to look like in 2030 with a bunch of new ships and an average fleet age, the youngest in the industry, at 16 years. Let's go. Hey everyone, John here from Byte Size Cruises. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we're a travel agency. Our whole goal is to give you the best information possible about cruising so you can plan and go on an amazing cruise vacation or a land vacation or an amazing Disney vacation. Anything you want to do. I specifically focus on cruising, so that's what I talk about the most. So today we're going to talk about Norwegian Cruise Line as a whole. I just got off of Escape. I was on Aqua just a few weeks ago. I'm going to be on Joy in just a few weeks. I'm going to be on Encore. I'm going to be on Dawn, Luna. I got a bunch of Norwegian in my future. I've been on 20 Norwegian cruises, 85 cruises overall. Norwegian is the cruise line that I've been on the most, just barely. Norwegian and Royal are right there. So today we're going to talk about what their fleet is going to look like by 2030. Norwegian is doing a lot of growing and a lot of what I would call strategic growth. And they have an interesting mentality when it comes to adding new ships to the fleet in different designs and in different innovations. So let's get into where this kind of starts from and where it's going. So Norwegian's older ships, you have a lot of kind of right around the 30-year mark that they're starting to sell off. You have Spirit, Star, Dawn, and then as we get in, we have Pride of America, which just got refurbished, which is the Hawaiian ship that does the Hawaiian cruises. We also have the entire Jewel class, which is getting a little older, Jewel, Gem, Pearl, those ships. And then we start getting into Breakaway Getaway, the Breakaway Plus class ships, which, you know, I was just on Escape, which is now 10 years old, which is still relatively young if you consider the pandemic where we had a little bit of time off, so the ships haven't been used as much. You had Joy right after that, which I'm going on. You had Bliss and Encore, both pretty new still at this point, about 6-7 years old. That is not old for a cruise ship. And then, of course, we had the Prima class ships, which I initially did not like, and there's still things I don't love about them, but there is a lot of innovation there with less passenger to kind of square footage ratio, which I think is really nice. It's one of the big bonuses. And then, of course, the Prima Plus class ships with Aqua now, and then Luna coming out next year. I really like what the changes that they made from Prima and Viva to Aqua and then Luna. I really enjoy that they made some venues bigger. I still think there's things that can be fixed or things that can be structured differently. And I think everybody knows I had a little point in where I was really disappointed with the direction Norwegian was going. It seemed like they were cheaping out on a lot of things. They were really starting to nickel and dime more. And I don't know what happened. They were, you know, they used to be this really innovative line with adding freestyle, specialty dining was a big thing for them. The waterfront was a big thing. Then the Ocean Boulevard on Prima and Viva, now Aqua and Luna, which nobody really did. And then I kind of started feeling like they were pulling away from entertainment a little bit. You just saw some weird things. The app didn't work on Aqua really well. You couldn't pre-purchase dining or anything. It was just some weird things were going on. Then we had a little change of kind of leadership, right? So we had a CEO step down or step down-ish, and we have some moving parts, and now they're moving in a completely different direction. So let's get into what is going to happen now. Obviously, we had Prima come out in 2022. We had Viva come out in 2023. We then had Aqua come out in 2025 this year. We have Luna coming out as the next ship to debut in 2026. We then have two more Prima Plus class vessels coming out in 2027 and 2028. They're going to continue to expand this kind of comfort and luxury where there is less people, more square footage, and really kind of leaning into the commitment to this value of creating this a little bit more of a luxurious experience, which I really like. My goal has always been, not that anyone cares, my want for Norwegian has always been that they lean more into the space that Princess and Celebrity occupy, and less into the space that Carnival, Carnival Royal, and MSC occupy. I love all of those cruise lines. There's just something about Norwegian that I feel like it could be a little more luxurious. It attracts a slightly different crowd from Carnival and Royal specifically, and even MSC, which is more of a European crowd. Carnival and Royal are now the party family lines, right? You have the party and the family stuff going on. Disney, I put in a class all by itself because it's very, very family and just an outlier because of the cost and what you get and what it's all about. It's Disney, right? So it's completely different to me. And then you had Norwegian here, which is a little bit of an outlier. It's a little bit more of an all-inclusive experience because you could do the more at sea, even though I wish they would keep going with that a little bit and continue down the path of Celebrity or Princess and have a little more of an all-inclusive offering with maybe More at Sea Plus coming. There used to be a Free at Sea Plus. More at Sea Plus to me would be an addition of unlimited internet, even if it's the base package, unlimited internet and gratuities included. I think that would make it really wonderful. But they're going to continue to do this. And then the next really big piece of innovation is they have another class of ships coming out starting in 2030. And this is going to be the biggest of the Norwegian ships at 225,000 gross tons. It's going to have 5,100 guests on board. This is really going to be a change up for Norwegian. And are they going to continue down the path of making it a little more luxurious like Celebrity or Princess? If you go on Aqua or Luna or Prima or Viva, it feels more like a Princess or a Celebrity ship, with the exception of obviously the race car tracks and the Aqua coaster, which I didn't get at first, but I get it. I get why it's there. I might not agree with it all of the time. I think it's a little gimmicky and something you're going to do once that occupies a massive footprint on the ship. And maybe people do it 10 times. I don't know. The Aqua coaster is included in your cruise fare. The go-karts are not. So that is something where you're not going to do it a bunch of times, I would think, if it's 15 bucks a pop. But who knows? People seem to love it. They have it on a bunch of ships. I'm obviously not the person who knows it all about this. I'm just kind of giving you my point of where I come from when I'm looking at these as a travel agent and as someone who loves Norwegian and loves to cruise. So if we look at kind of the other classes of ships in this range, the Oasis class ships are 225 to 230 gross tons, but holding 6,000, 7,000 passengers, right? So a little bit more of a capacity. If I look at the max capacity of Oasis, which is the oldest of that, it's 6771. The max capacity here is going to be 50 some hundred. You see where it's the same size, but way less people, which I think is really nice. The other thing they're doing is they're retiring older vessels and really youthening their, who knows? Making younger their fleet. So as you can see, they're retiring Sky and Sun. Both were built in the late kind of 90s, early 2000s, which is really nice. They're going to be sold to Cordelia. One is going to be sold to Cordelia over in 2026. The Sun is going to go in 2027. And this allows them to focus on modern, kind of more sustainable ships, which also aligns with what they want to do. It's really, really nice. So I am especially excited to see this new class of ships and start to learn what the thought process is as they come out. Is it going to be full of bells and whistles like Icon and Star and the Oasis class and MSC World America and World Atlantic and World Asia and World Europe, all those big ships? Or are we going to get something similar to Prima, Viva, Aqua, and Luna that is just bigger and super luxurious, where it's kind of putting Norwegian in its own space, which is something I'm really eager to see. I'm eager to see the continuing evolution of the More at Sea package, to see if we get a More at Sea Plus that gives us all of the bells and whistles that we're looking for in a package, making our cruise journey a little bit more all-inclusive so that we don't have to worry about things like paying gratuities once we get on board. It's all included in our cruise fare. All we have to pay for is things that we buy on board if we decide to do extra specialty dining. I would like the more at Sea Plus. Ideally for me, and please weigh in below on your thoughts on more at sea. I know some people didn't like the change to more at sea at all. They really love the free at sea, the free at sea plus. Here's my kind of perfect world for the more at sea, and then kind of doing it the princess way, but a little bit different. I would love 3 packages. A standard more at sea, where you get your drinks, your 2 or 3 specialty dining, or 1, whatever, based on your class category of where you're staying. You get your internet minutes, whatever. I hate that they do minutes, and your shore excursion credit. I love that. I love that there would be maybe a plus version similar to Princess, where you could do more at sea plus that includes gratuities and internet, just your base internet, and then a Premier that would be the like high-speed streaming internet, you know, and unlimited specialty dining. So maybe Plus gives you 1 more specialty dining, and then Premier gives you unlimited specialty dining. There's a ton of specialty dining restaurants on board. I don't think it would be an issue. And then maybe in the base package, you don't get specialty dining, whatever it is. Let me know what you think below, and we can all discuss it together. But that's where I'm coming from and looking at Norwegian's future. I think it's really exciting. They have more and more ships out even further than that. So once we get Luna in 2026, we have 2 more of the Prima Plus class, 27 and 28. Then we have the new ships in 2030, 2032, 2034, and 2036. We have all this scheduled out in the next 10 years for Norwegian. It's going to be a pivotal time in the cruise industry. It's going to be a pivotal time to see what direction they choose to go as Royal and Carnival lean towards big ships, short itineraries, hitting that first-time cruiser, the party crowd, the families looking for a quick getaway, to see if maybe then those people, instead of going from Carnival to Royal, now go from Carnival and Royal and graduate up to something like Norwegian. So very interested to see what happens over the next 10 years. Let me know what you think below. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Happy cruising, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.